Maybe if we tease out a little bit of that designing for a blended value, I think that goes into TDI's general work with this approach. And we've certainly seen, I think, as we engage around trying to build what we call investable social enterprises, that we actually get different results when this notion of blended value is front and centre at the point of beginning an engagement. What are some of the differences you've seen, Paul, from what we're able to create and the businesses that come out of designing for blended value?
I think that the difference is that you end up with an integrated model. Much of the social enterprise space across the world is focused on trying to leverage the economic engine to do good, rather than necessarily integrating them. So there's many social enterprises out there that are designed to create profit, but to fund good over here. And they're not really asking the question about how does this business do good? Or what are the negative consequences of running that kind of business, but also what kind of positive outcomes could you create within that business? So as you go down that journey, you end up in very different places depending on where you start and what kind of worldview you have at the beginning. So if you have a worldview that actually says blended value is possible, I can make money and do good, and I design the organisation to produce both of those outcomes, it's not to say that you always get it, but at least if you design for it, you have a much better chance that it could happen. And a bit to Isaac's comment before, I think if you don't design for it, you won't get it at all. And so I think we've allowed ourselves as a sector to compromise on what really truly is possible. So we see that commerce and business in the marketplace is a really powerful way to change the world. And there's no doubt to that. We've really seen that the last 50 to 100 years on this planet have been absolutely driven and created by that sector. But what we want to do is we want to redirect that power. But we can't lose any of the power of it on the way through either. If we really want to change the world, then we're going to have to change the entire commercial sector to take seriously the good it has to do in the world. And that for me is not necessarily a recreation as much as a going back to often the kind of roots of business in lots of ways. Most businesses were established to do good and make money in the first place, because what they realised was that there was a need within a community, we'll meet that need, and because they've met the need really well, it happened to produce economic sustainability. So it's not a complete, here's a brand new thing. I think it's actually recreating, regaining in lots of ways the very things that we've let go out of the corporate space. We've driven the corporate space to be all about money. And there's good steps along the way where you start to see the walk towards blended value. So things like corporate social responsibility, shared value type projects, the idea that individual corporate executives want to do something significant, not just make money. You start, I think there's a shift happening. Now it's right at the beginning of that shift, but there's a shift towards, I personally and I corporately want something more.